Thank you. And thanks to Martin and everyone who's making this film festival such a great event. It's great to come to Leeds, and it's especially wonderful to play in this hall. I think you'll agree it's perfect for what we want to do. And I feel very pleased to have this kind of facility that we can have grand pianos and screens and so on. It's wonderful. So thank you. What we're about to do tonight, or attempt tonight, is the beginning of something that's been around for 30 years or more, which is the realisation of The Quiet Man, which is a book I've been writing since about 1977, I think. So it's about time I finished it. And the character of The Quiet Man began through film. What I did was film friends of mine wearing a grey suit that I found in a charity shop in London, an Oxfam shop in fact. And I filmed these friends of mine walking in various bits of London. I was trying to invent a character because I'm not very good at being on stage in a rock band, which is what I was at the time. And I was desperately trying to get out of this in any way I could. And the only way I could do that was by inventing someone else that I might become. Something like that, anyway. And The Quiet Man began to emerge through these films that I've made on Super 8 of people walking in London. And then I began to realise how interesting film is and so on, and over the years it's accumulated meanings and layers of things I've attached to it. And I hope some of that can communicate itself to you tonight. So what you're seeing here is the very beginning of The Quiet Man, but it also uses films that were made 30 years ago of those friends of mine walking through various parts of London. So it's tremendously nostalgic for me to see this stuff. And again, we can do it digitally now. We can project on a big screen like this, which we never could before. And we can play music like this, which we never really could before. So the technology is allowing this kind of thing to happen. I won't say any more now, but you can ask me questions if any arise after the performance. I'd also like to introduce John Lee, who's a professional artist cowboy, and he's begun to do live video with the music. In the middle part of the concert, we'll do an entirely live piece of video along with the dialogue that was recorded. And John will VJ, or do live video with that. These are cut-up movies. This is the other phase of things I'm interested in. I'm interested, as you know, in rearranging our heritage of imagery. In other words, stealing it and repurposing it, remaking it. So you'll see some of that in action live tonight, courtesy of John. So, we'll begin. Thank you.
He awoke in focus. A dream or two waving from a couple of corners quickly faded. I Out of the crisp, clean sheets into the bathroom, quite blind, still on automatic. Choose the clothes from the wardrobe. Slack to a crease, the brown shoes from Yugoslavia in a long-gone style. The woolen shirt she bought to keep his heart warm. Pleased with the reflection, he passed into the living room, surfacing slowly all the time. Outside it was green June and raining. Crowds of little leaves were adrip around windows overlooking a garden ending in shared poplars, against a sky where jets splintered and sunsets sometimes roared, leaving with a long night. Coffee and toast with marmalade, a brown egg in a blue willow-bitten cup. Eat slowly. Now, sit down in the armchair facing the window and let consciousness flow in naturally. Digest the breakfast, allow the bowels room to move before facing the big world. All around, the denizens shifted in car, bus, tube to do the daily. Office girls in fresh perfume and new styles, clerks in damp Macintoshes, all crushing into containers that zipple to long lifts, cool corridors, strip lighting and typewriters. Little sandwich shops boomed around the bases of the buildings, showing piles of white and brown slices, contents peeping. Green lettuce, red tomato, cream cheese, banana, honey, pickle, egg, all under glass at the gate. Smells of steam and coffee. Gleaming pastries fresh from pre-dawn bakeries. Seated figures alone or a chat over thick white plates behind the misty window. The smell of rain on warm concrete coming in with each refugee rattling the open-closed sign. And him after his small job in the place he knew so well. He was content, an unusual state amidst all this rush and ambition. He didn't want to be boss or make pots of cash. He merely loved his routine. Waking, the journey, the weather. A park lunch, shop window walks. Working well, going home with satisfaction. Getting on with his little projects in the evening. Saturday shopping, Sunday stroll. A change of season, a new shirt. Down Oxford Street, the buildings were festooned with ivy and Virginia creeper. Trees grew from the windows of Selfridges. The pavements and tarmac were split by plane trees spreading across Marble Arch and Hyde Park. Purple loosestrife waved in the breeze, scattering its white floating seeds, glowing in the late afternoon light. He walked down fractured pavements, smelling the recent rain. He wore, as usual, his grey suit, white shirt and dark tie. There were no other sounds but a breeze moving the trees, his own footsteps, and scattered birdsong all over the empty city. Above him the sky was bright blue now, and the light was going golden across the top edges of the crumbling buildings. At the bottom of Oxford Street stood the tall centre point tower, its remaining upper windows glinting, while most of the base was covered in vines. Mile-a-minute vine especially had grown out from many of the gardens, and living up to its name, had swamped quite a number of roads and buildings in the city. He often strolled through Hyde Park, then on to Victoria Station, where thousands of birds had nested in its cast-iron structure. The ammoniac stink of their droppings